give your child the opportunity to explore, allow them to fail, because failure is such, like, it brings such good lessons, right? You don't always have to sometimes let go, because holding on for too long,
Yes.
you know, and it's all about buhlungu. So that's what I would say to parents. Just, you know, allow your kids to like just explore and try whatever it is. And you know, when you offer your kid like that grace to fail and actually like pick them up, that's when they value you more. And it causes less fights, because honestly, going to university is a fight. So now you're fighting with the university, you're fighting with your parents. Like, there's just so much going on. So I think just toning it down would be really helpful. Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Always exciting to speak to young people that are carrying the future on their own shoulders. And today is no different. We are going to talk to a young person that will take us through the experience of moving from a university life into the corporate world. Probably what she will share today is something that is going to benefit you as well. But before we go any further, please click on the link below and subscribe so that we can continue on our quest of empowering others and also of sharing knowledge. As we always say here at Dreams Made Possible, it's all about great Life 101 conversations for a great life. Hi, Tebello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm great, thank you.
Thank you. And who is Tebello? Just walk us through this journey. Who is Tebello?
Okay, so Tebello is a young girl from the Free State, in a small town called Welkom. Tebello studied BCom marketing from the University of the Free State, and Tebello is now in a graduate program. Yes.
Wow. And we will get into that about the graduate program. But how was it growing up in Welkom? And I must say, ke neighbor ya hao. But you say Welkom inyane, and now I come from Henneman, which is smaller than Welkom.
Yeah.
And lo na batho ba Welkom ba re ile da le nana rona re tswa mo dipolasing. That's the problem.
I mean, don't Lilona le rata ho itlosa from Welkom. Ha ke tse Welkom. Ke tswa Henneman.
No, we have to be proud of where we're coming from. But how was it growing up there in Welkom?
So I don't recall when I actually moved to Welkom. I think maybe I was in like grade R when I moved, when my mom got a job that side. Welkom is very dry. Honestly, I don't remember having a McDonald's.
Oh, yes.
So it wasn't like a typical childhood where you're like, oh my gosh, Mom, can I please, get McDonald's, because there isn't any McDonald's. But like growing up, you actually, what I'll say is you realize that it's dry after you've experienced something else.
Yes. But isn't it a principle of life? Yeah.
Exactly. Right? So I was in school until grade 7 in Welkom. And then from grade 8 up to matric, I was actually in Bloem.
Okay.
So I was in hostel, St. Michael's. And that's where I spent basically, I don't know, I feel like that was my childhood. So I don't consider anything before grade 8 my childhood. But I feel like, after that, that's where I was like, now I'm living.
Wow. And tell me, let's go back home. How many are you at home? Is mom still there? Daddy still there?
So I'm an only child to my mom. My dad is not present. So at home, it's me, my mom, and my cousins, and my cousins' kids. So that is my family to me. So I don't have your normal traditional family, mom, dad, 3 kids. No, it's me, my mom, my cousins, and their kids. And that to me is my family. Yes.
Because families take different shapes,
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, it's about what you make with what comes out
Yeah.
of that type of relationship.
Mm.
No, that's very, very great. Now tell me, the transition from Welkom into Bloemfontein, how was it?
Shocking. Culture shock.
Okay.
So like I said, Welkom is dry, so Bloem has a bit of, rhythm-ish. But then when I got to Bloem, I experienced so many characters because we weren't all from the same place.
Yes.
Some people were from Joburg. Some people were from Lesotho.
Yes, yes.
So, like, it was so many of us into like just this one space, and we're just like learning about each other.
Yes, yes.
You know how you think Lesotho and you think horses.
Yes.
But you realize that it's
more than that.
It's more than that. Like, they're actually humans who live a life similar to yours. Yeah. So yeah, I enjoyed Bloem.
Yeah, okay. I can see the radiant smile that comes after you have said you enjoyed Bloem.
Yeah.
And I think the part about Welkom is the fact that the mining activity has been dwindling, and that's why also the dryness is coming out. But anyway, let's stick to our journey as we are now in Bloemfontein. I also stayed in Bloemfontein.
Okay.
I did my junior degree there in Bloemfontein, and I taught around the area at some point as well. And now you find yourself in Bloemfontein. You are studying.
Yeah.
Okay. How was it as a student? Now you are, I want to believe, away from parents.
Yeah.
You have to set your own rules.
Yeah.
Then at the same time, you've got to be in class. Talk to us about that experience as now an independent young adult getting into this life.
I won't lie. It's very difficult because there was so much pressure. There's pressure from your parents. There's pressure from yourself. There's pressure from the bursary that trusted me to actually go to school. But at the same time, I don't want to lose my youth being so focused, like books.
Yes.
So it's like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to find myself, but I don't have the time to because life is moving and I have to move with it.
Yes.
So yeah, but varsity was an experience.
Yeah.
It was such
Unpack that thing. What is this experience you're talking about?
I went through so much, like not like deep so much, but like I remember in first year, I was doing a totally different degree to what I actually graduated. That first year, it was really tough for me to just, I don't know what to say, to just find myself, which is something I still find myself like struggling with.
Yes.
So I had to make decisions to be like, you know what, okay, yes, I did this degree because I thought it's what will get me a job, get me the money, make the parents happy, but this is not what I actually want to do.
Wow.
And to be honest, I actually suck at it.
Yes.
So so it was very difficult for me to actually accept, Tebello, you suck at this degree. You need to find something else that works for you, because this is
the degree you graduated with.
No. It's a different one.
And then changed course.
So I changed course.
So you
after that,
with what?
a BSc in IT.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was kicking me.
Yes.
It was definitely kicking me, and it was difficult for me to come from, being smart, and then getting to varsity and realizing that, no.
This is
like,
not me.
No, yes.
Wow. Now tell me, the choice of BSc IT, how did it come about? Because you mentioned issue of pleasing, I don't know if I listened well, whether you said pleasing my mom. It's like doing it on the behalf of the parents.
Yes.
Is that how the choice was made?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So I had been accepted for a communications degree, which is something similar to marketing, but just focused for communication. And I got home and I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to study. And my mother was like, no. Like, literally, like, key in communication. Communication. So, like, and she wasn't giving me a choice.
Yes.
It wasn't a tell me what you're going to do with communication. It was a you better go back tomorrow and change whatever you chose.
Yeah.
So, you know how varsity is, long lines, you know, degrees, like spaces are getting full.
Yeah,
so you have to like settle for something that, so I was like, okay, let me look at something that has science. I know she'll be happy about that. I was like, okay, let me see. Oh, I qualify for BSc in IT, you know, majoring in business management. I was like,
I'm going for this.
I'm going for this. And I'm like, surely I'm smart.
Wow.
How?
I can do this.
I can do this.
Yes.
Shocker.
Wow.
Couldn't do it.
And then at what point did you say, yes, ma'am, but I am following Tebello's heart now?
So I think it was like mid first semester, and my marks were just tumbling down the stairs, literally. And I was like, I can't do this.
Yes.
And then because I had a bursary at the time, I knew that it's a conversation that I would have to have with my bursary that, you know, So I actually went to the university. They had like I don't know if it was like a therapist where they actually like, they want to see if vele, you know, what you're experiencing is true. And like I actually did like an aptitude test so that they can see what it is that would basically like be good for me. So I did that whole thing, and then once I was done, you know, the results were looking at like marketing, communication, those kind of stuff. And then when I was done, I provided those results to my bursary and to my mom. Like, listen, okay, yes.
Yeah. This is what the result says I'm good at.
Yeah, so can we try, you know? Yeah. So that's how it came about. And then I changed.
Okay. And let's just a bit on that, because I'll tell you why it's important, that conversation. Earlier you said your mom didn't ask what are you going to do with communication. Now you find yourself fast forwarded a bit. Now you have changed. You say, let's try. Did the conversation change to explain what are the benefits or what types of careers you're going to look at? Or it was just a question of, the results are sharp, IT.
Yeah.
Try at the side. Or how did the conversation go?
I think because I am such a strong character, the second time we went to have that conversation, I was the one not giving her an option. Like I was the one telling her that this is what I'm doing. So it wasn't a I need your opinion. I need your opinion. It was a
Yes. Now, you know, Hlalele, what we call role reversal.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you, because this, what you just said, happens with a lot of families.
Yeah.
I remember down in Vosloorus a couple of years back, I was addressing parents and their children in a church, and one mother said, "No, one not say it's civil engineering because referring to a stadium almost. What is the person going to do?"
Yeah.
And I realized at that point for a key lack of understanding, you know, and it might help. But if you look back now and we reverse roles, and Hlalele an opportunity to advise parents, what would you say to those parents? Come on, what would you say?
This is difficult because I mean, your parents.
Yeah,
but what I would say to parents is that give your child the opportunity to explore. Allow them to fail, because failure is such, like, it brings such good lessons, right? You don't always have to sometimes let go, because holding on for too long,
yes.
you know, and it's all about buhlungu. So that's what I would say to parents. Just, you know, allow your kids to like just explore and try whatever it is. And you know, when you offer your kid like that grace to fail and actually like pick them up, that's when they value you more. And it causes less fights, because honestly, going to university is a fight. So now you're fighting with the university, you're fighting with your parents. Like, there's just so much going on. So I think just toning it down would be really helpful. Yeah,
Not
I think
true,
yeah.
No, thanks for that. And probably as a parent, I would listen to that as well. And really, without digressing, my daughter started with law, and the difference is that she knew before her results were kind of released on that test that is done, the entrance test that matriculants do before when they get to it. It showed her she's strong in comms and marketing, but she went for law. So she finished the first year. Then the second year, she said, even though I passed well, what I now understand about law is not me. And then I said to her, yes, your results showed, but this time when you change, make sure it is the last time, because you won't be changing. So that conversation really helps. Let's go back to what you said. And for me, it's very, very important for you, for any other person, whether young person or older person. You said, if I remember well, getting into the university and finding yourself and still a struggle. Here you are. What's so difficult about finding yourself? What is it? What are the challenges about crafting that space where you say, oh, this is Tebello and it's me?
Okay, for me, right, I feel like it's still something I struggle with even now, like finding yourself, because I feel like I don't want to be stuck in a certain way. I don't want to be like, oh, I'm Tebello, you know, I'm going to be a chartered marketer, you know, because if that doesn't happen,
then what?
Yes, then what? Like, how am I going to react to that? Do you understand? So hence, for me, it's difficult finding myself and say, okay, this is who I am, because I do not want to be the same person. I want to evolve every single time. So even in varsity, first year, second year, third year, I feel like I was a different person for each year, because I'm allowing myself to be, like, I'm exploring. Why should I, you know, like, I feel like, why should I be Tebello? That's her. She's
predictable.
I don't want to be predictable. Whoever I was yesterday, I'm like, I don't want to be that person today. Do you understand? So for me, hence I say finding myself was difficult and still is, because I want to give myself the opportunity to keep on evolving.
Yes. And let me tell you, it's still going. You said you are still trying to finance. It's still going to be into the future, and that's powerful, Tebello, what you're saying. And I'll tell you why as well. If somebody at home can take what you're saying to say, we will constantly challenge ourselves, only because we are not standing still. But if you stand still, there's nothing to challenge. So the takeaway for me is challenge yourself, move every time, put new milestones, push new goals. And then as you move from one goal to the next, you challenge your value system, you challenge your goal, you challenge your strength. So we become students of life in that way. And I'm grateful for you saying that. The other thing that I liked out of what you said, allowing yourself. That's a key word to use. And when was it? We did a podcast last time, a short podcast on giving yourself permission. And that's the whole idea. Allow yourself to do certain things. And if people can take that away, I'm telling you, Bona, recipe life, they have managed it. Now you pivot, you do all this degree, you complete. What happened? What is the relationship? Because one thing that I have come to learn about you, don't ask me how, there's a relationship that you have with AJB Max.
Yes.
What was this relationship like? What were some of the activities that you were doing with other students in this foundation? And maybe just a little brief of what JB Max Foundation is.
Okay. So JB Max Education Trust is a trust which offers so much more than just accommodation, tuition fees, your books, your whatnot. So I remember when I got the bursary, they brought all of us to in Midrand to induction. This induction is obviously to kind of close the gap of what was high school and what will be university. So it was a week long induction where we were introduced. So it was sort of a lecture. You know how at school it's very focused on the 36 of you or the 46. So it just shows how a lecture would be. In terms of, they're not telling you that you have to be there. You have to take the decision to be there because that's how university is. You go whether you want or whether you don't want. So the kind of activities they had, so we had that induction. So when we were in varsity, they would come and visit us just to, listen to our queries, any, gratitude that we had, some of the activities we had. I remember we had an exit workshop, which is once, like the year you're about to finish your degree, they bring you back again for a week long to show you the work life. So that's where you write your goals, your career goals. So basically just that they offered us a platform to actually experience what could be the work life. And then we also had a graduation ceremony, which is nice because I had to graduate twice. So, but like they were very, I don't know what to say. Like they were very. It's a well thought out program. It's not your typical bursary. It's so much more than just a bursary. And I've met so many great people from the bursary, and we still support each other. There's various activities that they still host as like when you're an alumni. So they host Mandela Day. They go to schools and, like one thing I always said, which is why I liked Bloom, right? When I was in Welkom, I don't remember anyone coming to talk about university to us, to tell you the different options you have in university, because you think, oh, I can be a doctor, I can be a lawyer, an engineer.
The common ones.
You don't know of all the other ones. So those are the things that JB Marks is doing out there, which I really like. And you don't have to pay them back. You just have to be an alumni and support wherever you can. So that's my journey with JB Marks. I was very fortunate enough to get it from first year.
So if you are surprised as to how I got your name, I also did some work with JB Marks a couple of years back. I think 2019, 2020, if not mistaken, I did some work with JB Marks. So the induction phase as well as the exit on those two occasions, I was with them. And just to be with young people that are focused, that want to do something different about their lives. Such a great thing. And I would say, to be honest, out there, unions have different structures. And JB Mark, as well as a structure that is associated with one of the unions, is such a powerful thing. And I would say unions should go out there and make the difference that JB Marks is doing, to live to the name of the Marks and the difference that it does out there. So I wouldn't go to the next topic without asking this question. Varsity, you said you don't want to be stuck. Life happens. You don't want to be straitjacketed and just read, focus on the books. There's a social life as well.
Yeah, of course.
What was one of the greatest challenges that challenged you and your value system? Because now you are in this space that says, wow, I can have the world this side, but I also want to study. Do you have such an experience?
Yes. In first year, my biggest challenge, actually, like maybe my biggest challenge was socializing, like going out.
Yes, yes, yes.
Because going out is so fun, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so fun.
Yes.
But because of that, like just being so focused on going out, it became difficult to focus on the studies.
Yes.
So I had to, like, reprimand myself and be like, Tebello.
Yes. Have that conversation with the person in the mirror.
Yes.
And I'm asking this question deliberately because some people do not pull out of their arsenal that arsenal, that in that kit, that arsenal to say, hey, handbrake, self-restraint, self-discipline, this thing I failed. Next people will still go there.
Yeah.
And really, I'm asking that deliberately. I didn't know the example that we were going to give, but I assumed in my head that because having been at varsity as well, those are the challenges that we all go through. And I think I want to believe that someone will take out of your message to say, we have it upon ourselves. We to say, let's not live for the here and now. There's also a future tomorrow. And let's focus on the right path.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, we are adulting at some point because being at varsity is adulting.
Yeah.
You find yourself at res publica. You're a student mentor, you're a member of a social committee. I now forget the other role that you did. What were you doing in that space before you can go now into your graduate experience?
So living at Res Publica and doing the various activities. So I was a mentor, like not a mentor, a tutor. So this is just like, helping the people that come after you with whatever modules that you're doing that you did that they are doing now. So those were the various things that I was doing. Like I actually tried so much to actually give back. Then social committees, just ensuring that Res Publica we're a community.
Yes.
I think it's very important to have a community because that's where you get your support.
Yes.
Because you're like 300 kilometers away from home.
Yes. Yeah.
And you need that structure, that support that is just, you can go and knock and be like, hey, dude, I'm not feeling well. Or, hey, I just wanted to chat. I was feeling lonely, or whatever the reason may be.
Yeah.
So, yeah, those were the different activities that I was doing besides, studying and going to school and, yeah.
And what would you say, or how did that experience shape you as a person? To be doing that tutoring and other activities? I
think the way in which it shaped me is it made me a very collaborative person. Like I like working with people. It exposed me to different types of people. And I think I'm more receiving of people. Because we're all different.
Yes.
We're really all different. I think that's the key takeaway from that experience. Yes.
Okay. So let's change gear and go into your experience as a graduate.
Okay.
And the context of my question is for us to be able to educate the graduate out there. Okay, and maybe for just a common definition, so that we at least talk from one point of view in generic terms. And I'm not saying this definition is the right one. Graduates in South Africa are defined as people that have completed their undergraduate degree, but they lack work experience, and then as a result, companies put the structure for graduates to be able to transition into the workplace. Depending on the organization, some organizations look strictly at university graduates, and there are also those who look at FET graduates, TVET colleges, and the like. But by and large, it is the transition from undergraduate into a work environment. Now, when I was saying the context of my question, how did you go about to identify this opportunity where you are a graduate at this moment? Talk us through that process.
So I think when I was looking, I was about 3 months. I was unemployed for about 3 months because before.
After graduating?
Yeah, after graduating. So before I was working as a education assistant at a local school. So after that, the contract ended and I was looking for a job.
Okay.
And, when you're unemployed, you're very uneasy, right? Especially with people asking, it's just like, of course I am.
Yeah.
But so I was every day on LinkedIn, like wherever I could look for a job, I was looking. I was like, okay, I need something. So I was applying everywhere, rejected, some don't respond. And then I remember one time I was scrolling on LinkedIn and then there was a recruiter on my feed and the recruiter was like, hi, I'm looking for graduates in marketing. If you, like, she named all these various things and then she was like, please send your CVs to this email. So I did it that night, put in my CV, just like, God, I did my part. Please do the rest, And then I got a call.
Wow.
Hi, Tebello. You've been shortlisted. I'm like, that's where the imposter syndrome starts kicking in. You're like, what? This big company just called me. Like, even getting shortlisted is like such a great opportunity. What?
Wow. Out of how many am also considered?
And I remember the recruiter was even like, you don't sound happy. I'm like, it's not that I'm not happy. Wow. I'm shocked. What do you mean? Yeah. What do you mean I've been shortlisted? So that's how I actually identified the opportunities, because every single day I took an hour out of my day to actually look for a job.
You say that again?
I literally every single day of that 2 months I was unemployed, I took an hour out to look for a job and apply.
Wow. You mentioned LinkedIn. Was that the only platform you were using?
LinkedIn, I regularly searched on Google. There's, what's that other one that keeps on sending you emails? There's so many of them where yes, PNet, Career Junction, everything, everywhere.
Wow. How did you come to know about those platforms?
So PNet, I remember when we were at a JB Marks training, they actually came. Okay. And then they were like, okay, we have this platform, it's called PNet. You have to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and, it will give you your customized job opportunities, whatever suits you. So I was on there. Career Junction, obviously I just searched, career portals or, your news, your Careers 24, your whatever. Most of them, I actually saw them from Google.
Yes.
Googling. But PNet, I remember they were there from JB Marks. And then LinkedIn, obviously when you're in varsity, your lecturers keep bugging you. Do your LinkedIn, do your LinkedIn, do your LinkedIn.
Okay.
So yeah, that's how I came about those things. Yeah, the platforms, yeah.
So you say you were rejected, but you spend an hour daily. Where did you get this drive to say, I'm rejected, but at the same time, I'm going to put effort and energy in trying to get this? And really the context of my question, Tebello, is because some people give up too easy. Yeah.
For me, it was like, there's no other choice. If I give up,
yes.
My mom is not going to be there to take care of me forever.
Yeah.
She probably also one day wants to retire. How will she retire if
Yes. Exactly.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, for me, I can't lose.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I can't lose.
Wow.
I cannot lose. No.
Yes, yes. No, thanks for that, because I think, again, we always say it's about imparting somebody.
Yeah.
Somebody might have this knowledge, but might not have the motivation.
Yeah.
So also it serves that purpose to say, go on. You can be rejected, but it is not, we do not have to personalize failure. It is not us.
Yeah.
It is just the experience we go through. And then you go back and try again until
you
the
get
process gets well. Now you are shortlisted.
Yeah.
There is this monster called people with ties. I don't know what we were these days, on the other side, and you this side, and we are going to ask you, tell us about yourself, like I started. How did you prepare for the interview, and what did you learn now as a graduate to say, hey, here's this big company that has called me, that has now awoken this imposter syndrome? How did you prepare for that, given that you've got this imposter syndrome? I don't know whether it continued even up to the interview stage.
So how I prepared is, I remember on LinkedIn, because I was there an hour of my everyday life, someone who I connected with had posted interview preparation questionnaire.
Okay.
So I found that on LinkedIn, and I downloaded it, and I read through the questions, I read through the answers, and I actually tweaked the answers to match me.
Wow.
Right? Yeah. And I studied that. Like as if I was like in school, I was studying like, and then the most important thing is I went to the company and I studied that. I was like, I need to know at least something about the company. Yeah. So that's literally what I did. Wow. And it was difficult.
Yes.
Very difficult, because I mean, like I said, this huge company.
Yes. And now the call comes to say you are successful. Now reality strikes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to use the example of your choice of degree.
Yeah.
You start with IT. You get in there and say, this is not me.
Yeah.
Sometimes it happens that we go into the work environment and say, this is a big company, this is what I'm expecting, but you say, so I'm not even trying to lead you in that question. What I want to find out is your expectation and what you found when you started now with this company.
Yeah.
Did they match? Are you trying to be politically correct?
Of course they didn't match.
Okay.
Yeah.
In which sense? Maybe I break it down.
In so much.
Yeah.
In like
you good?
Yeah, but I can't answer something.
Okay.
Thank you. What can I say? It was so different in so many contexts. For example, right? You go to varsity, you're studying marketing, you get to the workplace, right? Yeah. And then you're like, oh, I'm going to do marketing, like whatever I studied. And then when you get to the workplace, they put you into a department of a 2-chapter module you did in marketing.
Yeah.
And you're like, what?
Yes.
Like, it's so concentrated that it's shocking that, okay, the marketing I did was cute, but this work marketing, there's nothing cute about it.
Wow.
So those like were the different, the differences, the different discrepancies. What else? The expectation can never, you can never expect something and you go to the workplace and it's exactly that.
Yes.
Because there's so much difference. There's so much difference. Sometimes I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. Okay.
But now, in your experience, what makes that disjuncture between this smart thing in the module and now this reality. When we say the techie is the road,
Yeah.
What do you think makes the difference? Is it because, and I don't know which one is better, whether you enjoy the one that you read at the varsity or this now that you find at work? Is there, what is the distinction? Is it that maybe the corporate does not inform institutions well of what they're expecting? Or is it that institutions are missing the mark of what the what conclusion did you come to from your perspective?
I think things are correct the way they're done in the institution, right? Because I think what's done at the institution is to enable you to become agile.
Yeah. Institution being the varsity.
The varsity. Yes. Because you study marketing, right, as a whole, and then you get a job, and then they go and put you in customer experience.
Which is just one part.
Which is just one part of the whole degree. So what I mean by being agile is that, yes, the institution is right by doing that. Because you don't imagine if at the institution you just did customer experience, and then you get to the workplace, and then they're like, we're going to put you in branding.
Wow. Then you are lost.
You're lost.
Yeah.
So at least with the whole the whole, the way the degree is, has different parts of it, and then the corporate takes it. It's not too much of a shocker, but it's like, okay, I didn't know that this is a possibility. I think that was me.
Okay.
I thought when I studied marketing, when I get to corporate, I'm going to do marketing. But there's
A to Z.
But there's so much more.
Yes. And then, what is being done where you are to help you to touch and reach the more that you're referring to? Or are you just being put into this one space?
So there are rotational plans.
Okay.
There are rotational plans so that I can move around and experience the different topics of it. So that's what's being done, which is, it makes you very flexible as a person. Like I said, remember I said, as a person, you don't want to be stuck.
Yes.
So with the rotational plans and the development plans, it enables you not to be stuck.
Yes. No, correct. Now, let's talk to other skills, and maybe we'll come to the functional skill, which is marketing. Okay, but let's go to what we refer to as soft skills. Communication, teamwork, time management, and all those things. So at varsity, you do assignments sometimes in groups. Okay. And then you mentioned collaboration as part of the res publica and stuff. When you compare what you used to do there and what is expected out of you from a teamwork, I'm just picking that skill. How does that pan out for you now in this program?
One thing I will say is working in a team does require you to leave your desk and go to someone who's senior than you and be like, which is very difficult, because usually it should be the other way around. You should be coming to me to tell me what I need to do. But sometimes I need to come to you and tell you what you should do. But you've been working there for 9 years.
Managing upwards, Okay.
So it's very scary, obviously. Actually, what I will say is just being in the graduate program is scary. And it's okay to be scared because it challenges you, takes you out of your comfort zone and whatnot. So the collaboration that was done in varsity, obviously we're all kind of in the same age group.
Yes.
So, I can be like, do that,
Yeah.
But at work with someone who's senior, you know, who's a specialist, and telling them, you need to do this. Like, so the collaboration is quite different from varsity to work. So, because you don't, sometimes you feel like, if I say this, it's like I don't know my place.
And you have experienced that as well, real time.
Yeah, okay. but yeah, like, you know, when you see that, okay, this is not gonna work, but you're just a graduate. What do you know?
Wow, that's very interesting, because one of the having worked with a few graduates that I have experienced is people say, hey, I'm afraid to give my opinion because somebody will say, hey, we have done this thing this way forever. Okay. So I guess that talks to exactly that. Yeah. But now we say, as you come as graduates into organization, we say, take initiative, speak your mind. You know. So what's so difficult about speaking your mind?
Because what I will say is ideologies, or theoretically, it sounds nice, but practically, half of the time it will not work.
But have you tested it to say it won't work, or you learn from the experience of others?
I feel like you should know your people. Okay. You should, like, within the team or within the organization, you should know your people. Yeah. You know who will be like, okay, I hear you. And you know who won't hear you.
Yes. But that's a very, very I don't know what is the English word, but it's a very, very critical skill for you to know and execute what you just said, because it's like intuitive. You know your gut to say, am I going into this space or I won't go into this space? So I really take what you say. You need to know and discern. I think that's the word. Discern what is the right approach in some instances. But I guess that as graduates, at some point you come together. So what tips, what advices are you giving each other to be able to surmount that challenge? Because organizations grow, develop by leaders being open to new views. That is why new blood comes, new ideas should come, and they can only come because somebody presents a different perspective. And at the same time, you don't want to die with your music inside you know. So how do you bridge that gap?
So we definitely do talk, and we definitely do give each other advice. Sometimes it's sound advice. Sometimes it's like ridiculous, you know. Sometimes you're like, I hear you, but I'm not going to do that. But what I will say is, most of the time it's usually conflict resolution. So there will always be conflict. There will always be. Whether it's like, you know, there is, or whether you don't know there is. Because, I mean, for example, let's say I'm sensitive and you like criticize me, right, in a very nonchalant way. But obviously you don't know me. Yes. Because we haven't gotten the time to know each other as much as, okay, I see Botaki is, you know, a very nonchalant person, says whatever they have to say and moves on. But for me, like, I'm very sensitive. But I'm not also telling you, Hore, Botaki, I understand, Hore, this is who you are. Yes. But please, the next time you address me about work, do it in this manner, because I'm very sensitive. But also at the same time, you don't want to tell people you're sensitive, because if they see who you are, then they're just going to step on your toes. So it's very difficult to navigate conflict resolution in the workplace, because some people don't let things go. Sometimes you're unable to separate work personal. So if someone is attacking your work, or coming for your work, or giving you criticism on your work, you sometimes feel like it's an attack on you as a person.
Now, I think I might have asked you, but let me ask it this way again. With these examples you have given, and you reflect back at university, or even some of your life experiences before corporate, have they prepared you enough to deal with what you and we are not saying everything is perfect, but some of the challenges that you have outlined, or those experiences can be enough?
No, I think there is some sort of preparation, but it's in a different context, because before corporate, everything was personal. Everything was personal. So now when you are in corporate, you have to distinguish between the two. So for me personally, I will say that I think my experiences have prepared me for conflict, for, banter, corporate banter, like just discerning between, okay, now we're playing, now we're not playing.
Yes.
So for me, I feel like my experiences have, they have prepared. They have prepared me for whatever it is that but I'm also a very strong character. Like, okay. Like, it takes time to actually like get to me. No, that's yeah. So maybe like that's an advantage I have.
So having said that, if you look around you and you look at other graduates, what do you think they are struggling with that you're not struggling with and you can assist them with?
I think maybe it would be standing up for yourself. I think that's what most people struggle with, because it's just like when things happen, you like, I feel like as a person you should know when the person is coming for you as an individual, or if they're coming for your work. Like there's a difference. And I feel like you can sense the difference. Like, your gut feeling will not lie. If you feel like an associate or your colleague is coming for you, it's probably because they are. Also, you're a graduate, so they're really trying to pick at you. So I feel like the best thing to do is when you get there, do your work. Try not to be too friendly, or try not to really conversate, I think that's what worked for me.
Okay. Not to be mired into small talks, into politics, into that.
Yes.
Okay. So for me, it brings another element, Tebello, because you can either focus on your work, or you can we can summarize it as trying to fit in. Okay. So if you were to look, if you agree with me and we work with the word fitting in, okay, what would then fitting in the right way in this corporate space as a graduate mean, and what would fitting in not so right way mean based on your experience?
That's an interesting question. So I think fitting in not the right way would mean you letting things that bother you slide. So you sweep it under the carpet because I'm trying to be permanent. So I'm not going to address this because I don't want my team to, to be like, last time we said this and then, you retaliated. You're a grad. Why are you retaliating?
Yes.
And then fitting in the right way would be just being yourself, doing your work, but still maintaining who you are. And then your team gradually likes you for who you are. So you're not essentially trying. It just happened organically.
No, that's awesome, and I like it. I had a conversation with one of the grads at some point, and her view to me was one of the elements she raised to us. Her struggle was not being trusted, and not being trusted speaks to the level to which you get or you are involved in some of the projects, you know. But she says, when I see that, I said, no, I can do these things.
Yeah.
You know, have you experienced such where you feel that I can run with this project A to Z, but because I'm a graduate, somebody feels that they've got to take my hand every time?
Yeah. If for some things, I feel like, you know, it's not easy to trust a graduate because you feel like they don't know what they're doing. But sometimes you're like, I think I can do that, but that hasn't really been a big challenge of mine.
Right.
But what I will say, being a big challenge for me would have been not being acknowledged. You know, it's a tough one, you know, not being acknowledged. Because I feel like I'm a human before I'm a graduate.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
And that's being acknowledged for the great work that you have done.
It doesn't even have to be the great work. It could be me passing and saying good morning.
Yes.
Why? You're not greeting me because I'm a graduate? You know, like some things just don't make sense. Like,
correct. Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, thanks for raising that, because it leads me to the other part that I would like us to touch, which is the social part of work.
Okay.
We come from different backgrounds, okay, and as we get into those spaces, one of the graduates in my previous life said to me, I walk into this space, and these graduates, probably because of their background and because of similarities, can call this person, hey Maria, you know.
Yeah.
And then because I come from a different background, I call them Abuti Butaki. You know, it's difficult for me to say, hey Butaki,
Yeah.
you know. What is your experience in that, if we use that as an example of a social space and just relating? Are those things that you see where you are, even if it's not you, that are bothering other graduates, or you find that the current crop of graduates, as they get into companies, they less formal, they can easily stand up for themselves, especially the Black graduates? Let's just be open about it.
I think, yeah, it's difficult to go from calling essentially everybody white, because what I would say is we're not exposed to white communities. Well, me, speaking for myself, I'm not exposed to calling a white elder Marie, you know? But I'm used to calling them Miss whoever, ma'am. And then now you get to corporate and no one is ma'am. No one is sir. No one is Miss whoever. You have to, you know, first name basis.
And you managed to, have you crossed that bridge?
Yes, you have to. Otherwise, no one will take you seriously. Wow. You have to. Like, hi, John.
Yeah. And it is what it is.
It is what it is. You'll think about it later. I just got this. I just called the CEO by the name. Yes, you know. So.
But that's how, because for each environment things are different.
Yeah.
And I would say to graduates, when you go into that space, probably the induction will help for you to understand how things are done here, you know, and maybe try to go there. And it does not mean that people who are coming cannot do things that are changing the situation to the better. But the crux of what I'm saying is that you understand the context and you learn from the context, and what works you carry it through as well. So no, because those, as I said, those are some of the challenges that people have told me to say, hey, it was a challenge for me just to call this person
by their first name.
Their first name. Okay. The other thing is, as we're still on the social aspect of it, is I don't know if you have found yourself in, say, a company dinner, company breakfast, or any other social event. And what is your experience having to integrate now with seniors, you know, into this environment, and how you thought you should carry yourself? Have you had such an experience?
Absolutely, absolutely. There's like various social events that go on, and you find yourself sitting around your, senior people, and you're like, how do I behave? So for me, honestly, you try not to show them who you are outside of work. So for me, I try to maintain whoever I am at work in those social spaces. If I am not needed in those social spaces, I try not to attend.
Yeah.
I keep it very very non-personal, very, surface level, small talk. Like, let's not, yeah.
Why do you think that is the case? It's like it's put in your gut. You say, I don't want to do a mistake here.
Because you know how people are. Like, once someone knows you, they try to like pick on it, or to be like, you did this last week. Now everyone in the office knows what you did, So, and you just don't want to put yourself in a space where you don't trust your colleagues or whoever with the real you.
But I guess not coming out does not take the authenticity out of you, even when you take that approach. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I'm a very reserved person, right? So even in the office, I'm very reserved. But obviously, some people who know me won't say I'm reserved because, they know me on a more personal level.
Yes.
But I still am reserved. Maybe with I just toned it down a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's an appropriate way to act in the workplace. Yeah.
No, that's so important, because I have always said to people, the social setting at the work environment takes a different shape and tone vis-a-vis when you are in the office. It seems like people sometimes let their guard down a little bit. And whether graduate or experience, but mainly for graduate, I always say that the CEO or a senior person just being casual and being open with you does not necessarily mean now that we are friends.
Yeah.
And even for and that's also the advice that I've always been giving, whether experience or not, but to say make that discernment.
Yeah.
So that we are able to say what are the boundaries within that space, because you can that environment, a social environment, can make or break you. It does not mean just because some people are offering a glass of wine in the social event now you must take the whole bottle.
Yeah.
Those are things that I say let's let them as we grow. So tell me, as we are about to land this plane, you have now walked into the space, you've got an experience as a graduate. Those are some of the experiences that you have experienced. If you look back as to how you were integrated, some of the things that you have learned, what would you change? Or how would you look at a graduate program, or you say you advise somebody who wants to bring graduate, what are the things that you think they need to look at to make a graduate program effective, especially the integration and being part of the organization?
I think it's very essential that managers or the whole team or wherever you're going to be aware of Tebello Makana. And I think it's very important that they plan for you, right? Because sometimes you get there and they knew you were coming, but there's nothing for you to do.
Yes.
You find yourself just sitting there like, but also at the same time, you don't want to walk up to a person because you already walked up last week to ask for work. You're walking up this week to ask for work. You end up for me, I feel like, you're pestering me. Like, it becomes annoying.
Yes.
You don't want to be annoying. You don't want to be the annoying grad.
But at the same time, you say, hey, plan for me.
But I feel like for me, that's the biggest part of the integration is plan for me, like make me feel that, like make me feel like you knew that I was coming.
Yes.
Right? No?
No, definitely, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, I think maybe like that's the big thing into the integration, and just like just I feel like the colleagues need to, what can I say? They need to be aware how to deal with graduates, because we're very sensitive, and we're very scared. We're very like we're anxious because everyone here has experienced but me.
Yes.
So make me feel okay, but like not for long,
Yeah.
Maybe like the first week, and then after that,
You
chat.
run on
Yeah,
your own.
like run, go.
Okay. I read a study a couple of years back. I forget the name of the person who did it, but it was done for master's degree at Wits. And two of the conclusions the study came to was that I've been reading a lot about this, but sometimes I confuse this generation, millennium, and Gen Z.
Gen Z, what?
Yes,
yeah.
I said, but most of the people that in the township lingo we are 2000. That really entitled. That you don't care, It's not true.
Yeah, I would say I agree, right? Not that we're entitled or we don't care. I feel like we're actually fighting against what was.
Yeah.
So I also like don't know which one is millennial, which one is Gen Z. So the people who come before us, right, want to indoctrinate us, and we're literally like trying to like unlearn. We're forcing you guys to unlearn while we're also unlearning those, So people feel like, you're entitled, but I feel like, we're evolving. Like the time for, being closed-minded is over.
Yeah. It never had space actually.
Like, so I feel like people just say entitled because it's the first word they think of.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Fighting for a cause.
Fighting for a cause. And I feel like it's like we're trying to move the whole, like society into the right direction.
Yeah. So you spoke about make me feel that you were thinking of me coming here and then leave me after some time to do my stuff. What would be the other thing that you think leaders should consider in how to lead the now graduates, especially as we talk about the unlearning that they still need to do?
I think what would work is them being stern, because I feel like, yes, to that point that we're entitled, I feel like we're very, how can I put it? We want to test you, like how far can we go?
Yeah.
So sometimes I feel like you have to be stern and be like, no, this is what I want you to do, and this is how you're going to do it. Or in a sense, if this is what you believe, prove to me that it's right.
Yeah.
But still do what I asked you to do.
Right. Because what you are saying is that we'll push the boundaries.
Yeah.
But also as a leader, know what is required. No, I really like what you said and how you unpacked it, because there's also a certain level of respect that you are advising indirectly that leaders to get to that point of that which they want to do.
Yeah.
Great. Now, what is it from your development bucket that Tebello is working on in terms of your future? Where do you want to take your future beyond the graduate program? By the way, where you are is the graduate, because in some organizations graduates are permanent, and in some instances they are given a fixed term. What is the situation where you are?
So it's a 2-year contract, and it's either you will or will not be absorbed. So not permanent, no.
Yeah, okay. But then going back to the question, taking that into consideration generally, what are your developmental goals into the future? What would you like to see this graduate program helping you to become?
I think this graduate program, what I expect from it or how I plan to develop is I wanted to upskill me. I want to, what can I say? So I said upskill, to give me the experience that I need. I don't want to be fixed. I want to, like when I leave, if I should leave, I want to be a very fast, like solutions. Like that's what I want. I want to be like very efficient. I wanted to give me like that efficiency should I go to another organization. I don't have like a straight like, okay, after the graduate program I want to go work for this company or I want to do this. No, I'm very open-minded and open to whatever will come in the next 2 years. But will I leave at the first opportunity that says come and be permanent? I'm out. Because for me, don't be loyal. No, because
loyal to yourself.
Don't be loyal to a company. No. Doesn't work for anyone.
What do you mean? It doesn't mean if the opportunity comes, you stay?
No, I mean if the opportunity comes, I'm leaving. Yes, that's what I mean. Like, yeah.
But I mean, who doesn't want security in most cases?
Exactly.
So no, definitely, it's quite understandable. And I've worked with many leaders in my career. Leadership development and talent has always been my space. And talent management has evolved to a point where we say, actually, if you've got 18 months to 24 months from a person, you must consider yourself lucky. Because that's how the world is evolving. Is there anything from your experience in this graduate program that we haven't touched on, but that you think is important, that I haven't asked, that we haven't touched on, that is important for the next person?
I think what is important that we didn't touch on is the graduates you come in with.
The peers.
Yes, the peers, like the people you come in together, you guys are, in like you're in an induction together. Like I feel like those people are vital. And you know how they like saying network is your best net worth?
Yes.
Those people are your people. As much as obviously you want to have a network with the CEO, the manager, the whoever, more often than not, your network is your peers.
Why is that important?
I think it's important because those are the people who know you. You guys grow together. They see, they actually see the back end of how you're trying, And I feel like they can put you on. Like I can go and work for a different company and then they're looking for someone else and be like, hey, I know someone.
But also you can share ideas in terms of the work that you're exposed to.
Absolutely.
No, that's very, very critical. So we land the plane here by asking a question, and we call it a Life 101 question, to say, if that was your last wish, you've got to give somebody advice based on your experience to say, hey, this has worked for me. I'm not saying cut and paste it as it is, but take the leaf out of my lesson and take your journey. What would that be?
So there's this quote that I live by, and that is, so there's this quote that I live by, and that is, we choose our joys and our sorrows way before we experience them. So whatever choices you make, that can cause joy or cause sorrows. You never know.
Wow. And what I get out of this conversation, thank you a lot for that. And by the way, you're the second, if it doesn't sound bad to you, young person to stay on this set. And we're trying to build that portfolio. We really appreciate to hear from you and the nuggets that you have shared. Somebody will take it away and they will integrate it in their life. And what I have learned from Tebello's story is that you take things upon yourself. You don't regard yourself as young to be able to make certain decisions. And it is up to all of us to really make that part of our inventory, to be self-disciplined, to speak our minds, and to persist until we achieve that which we want to achieve. For her to say, I'm going to spend an hour of my life every day to search for work, I'm going to experience this rejection, but the rejection is not going to define me. And I'm going to leave my hometown, go to Bloemfontein. From Bloemfontein, I'm in Johannesburg. Life is malleable.
Yeah.
And it is up to each and every young person to define their lives and to also know that the future is not necessarily waiting for them, but you create the future today. Thanks, Palisa, for sharing Tebello, for sharing your experience. Very much appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.